Ciao tutti. Let's get right into it. The Milan Guys podcast, episode 29. Lost my voice a little bit here. That was just an embarrassment of the game, of the sport, I think, what we just witnessed there. Thank you for those who are joining in right now with TMG, Marco, and Umbi. Ciao, guys.
What's up, everyone?
Like, honestly, I think, it could have been, like, there's millions of people watching that match today, Milan-Inter, and millions of people around the world, and it could have been such a better match. It was a good match for the first 30 minutes. Ibra scores a beautiful goal, and Lukaku goes crazy, tries to fight five guys. He goes crazy for 10 minutes, and no punishment is awarded. And then Ibra clipped the heels. He didn't even clip him. He didn't even touch him. Gets a second yellow. That changes the match, and then goes the VAR, calls a rigore for Inter. That ties the match, and then a foul on Lautaro Martinez, which is a very controversial. He clipped himself. Maybe Mete got a foot in there, but and then Eriksson scores a free kick. And nice with Inter. Freaking Inter players are celebrating like they won the World Cup after a farce of a match like that. I'll go to Umbi first. Just what's your take? Like what's going on? I know we were just chatting about it, but
yeah. So obviously, like I said earlier, it's better that we lost in the Coppa Italia like this rather than in the league. Like, yeah, we play Inter in in the fourth game. Yeah, they play. Who does Milan plays? Bologna, Crotone, Spezia, and then Inter right away. So I guess it's you worry a little less about Coppa Italia now. It's not even that you make a lot of revenue. That's like an extra 3 games that you play, like right in between crucial matches. So it could be a blessing in disguise, but then again, like you always want to add as many trophies as possible to the trophy cabinet. But a big shout out to Ciprian Tatarusano. Like, that guy played out of it. If it wasn't for him today, we would have easily lost 4 or 5-1. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed at the end, the total shots stat, like Inter had 24 shots, like 14 on net. Milan was 1 for 4. Like, obviously in a game like that, unless you have Jose Mourinho as your coach, like shithousing victories like that, you're not going to win a game. And it is what it is for Milan.
You can't win. You can't win when Ibra gets sent off in the whatever the
yeah. But then you have a donkey like that who knows he's the most important player on the team, and he does that.
Okay, but yeah, sure, but that's not a second yellow in the middle of the field, and he didn't even clip the heels. So that means that Lukaku. How does Lukaku not escape punishment then? How does he escape punishment for wanting to fight four or five guys and going after Romagnoli after an average challenge? How do you escape punishment there? But then Ibra gets a second yellow. It's like that match, again, we tweeted on Milan Guys. We don't like to say the referee lost the match there, but the referee took the control of the match and made the match about him. I think we can agree on that. He made the match about him. This was a just poorly officiated match. It honestly looked like we were playing Juventus. And it was just, I don't know. I'm so angry seeing that. And Milan got one foul in 45 minutes. Like, every bit of contact Inter got is a foul. Every bit of contact Milan got, it wasn't a foul. And then you got to be consistent then. I don't know. I'll talk to TM. We'll bring over TMG Marco. What do you think? A lot of viewers here. Guys, please talk in the live chat. We'll have a chat. We'll show your comments on the screen, and let's just talk about it.
Please ask us questions.
Yes, guys, feel free to message us. Where do I start, guys? I'm livid. I'm disappointed. Any game, especially when you play against Inter, I expect Milan to win. I hate losing against them, and you saw like the energy that the players brought today. They wanted to win, and as soon as Ibra got that red card, I knew it was over. Knew it. Like, there was no chance because, with the midfield that we had with Kessie and Miete, it was very hard to end up, beating Inter in the first place. But that red card really killed us. And yeah, I don't like to blame the ref, but I don't blame the ref. I just think, in the circumstances of how everything was, I think we were just unlucky again. Kier came off, Ibra red card. We didn't have our key players again, and key players just came off. And that's what I just hate seeing. And of course, Inter controlled the game, with their midfield compared to ours. But, with the subs that came on, even with Rebic, he didn't do much. And you can't blame Rebic or any of the guys who came in because we were just, playing on the counter at this point. So You know what? I do have to say, next derby in February, February 21st. I expect a massive game. If fans thought this game was massive and was crazy, the 21st is going to be insane. So
Yeah, Luke, if you don't mind me just jumping in right now. Obviously, like the three of us spoke with Michele before the match, and we were thinking, like, is it better? I remember you also asked the question here with the TMG account. Is it better to go all out, win the game? Try, obviously, if you win, it looks like a great move by Padre Pioli there, because it's all about winning. Who cares if it's a Coppa Italia? You just destroyed your rivals again. You're going to go into part 3 of that match having beaten Inter twice already. But then you get examples like this where, Milan were playing phenomenal. I don't want to say phenomenal, but they played well. They were playing well enough to lead. And then it just blows up in your face like that with 3 questionable calls. And then, now people start thinking, oh, why did Pioli risk injuries? Why now, like, how long is Kier going to be out for? Like, why would Ibra do something like that? Like, why throw Mete into the fire there? But I got to say one positive thing out of this game, Fikayo Tomori. Like, thank God Lampard was still the coach or was still the manager when we were able to get him. Because I think Thomas Tuchel going in right now is probably screaming and pulling his hair right now, thinking, why do I have Kurt Zuma and Andreas Christensen as my center backs? Well, as well as also Thiago Silva. But I could have also had someone like Fikayo Tomori.
to go on with what you said, and it's a great question. Like this question here, I think Tomori was the best player of the game, and with Kessie as well. I think Kessie, despite the loss, I think Tomori and Kessie were the best players, and Tata. But it just shows you now with Musacchio out, we have a reliable defender. Because now with Kier being injured, who knows if he's going to be back anytime soon. At least I feel confident having Tomori there with Romagnoli. Gabbia's out, so it's going to have to be Tomori and Romagnoli. And after today, seeing them together, I'm confident. So I'm happy to see that. Another bright spot.
So I'm just going to go to the chat here. So Arnold said that he can't be bothered playing Juve twice. Me too. Probably the same thing happened today. The referee being on their side. Liam says the referee ruined the match. He was at the Garibra. Who knows what went down in the tunnel? Serie A official ruining the game. Honestly, Liam, I can't agree more. Like Serie A officials, they've talked about it for many years to bring in officials who aren't Italian to Serie A because that second half looked almost paid off. I hate saying it, but it did. That was atrocious. It was just awful. I was talking on the phone with some people who are not Milanisti, not Interisti, and they even said themselves that was a tough match to watch. And it wasn't good for the average viewer either. Like, I mean, if there's people around the world, there's millions of people watching this match, and it was a terrible match for the average viewer too, even for the neutral. They don't want to see Ibra get sent off. They don't want to see Milan sit with 11 guys behind the ball for 30 minutes and Inter scoring from rigore, which is also debatable. But yeah, and then the football XX says he might have lost the game, but Tomori, that's like Umbi said, they couldn't score from open play. Yeah, they couldn't. They had to get a rigore and a cheap free kick. And I don't know if you guys see a video of that Lautaro Martinez, the foul on Lautaro Martinez. He actually kicked his own leg out. It's actually like I watched it again. Awful. Like it was a dive, to be honest with you. Like it was a dive, and yeah.
Yeah, so Franco and Umberto, listen, man, and you brought up a great point. Those two incidents with the penalty and that free kick just shows you how corrupt Serie A is. And you know what? I see Juventus fans, Inter fans always telling, on Twitter especially, that Milan fans always complain. Meanwhile, we always get penalties. But they're missing the big point. Like today shows another perfect example of like how corrupt the league is. You saw with Barella, he was already falling to the ground. Like he was on his way to the ground before, Leao was even getting to him, which to me it was bizarre because the referee didn't hesitate at all and called the penalty. And that's ridiculous. The guy is faking it, made it look amazing. And of course, he calls it the penalty, but then you see that free kick to put the icing on top of the cake, and he hits his own foot, calls, with Eriksson, no matter what, even if he's playing like shit, he's gonna score those free kicks, and they score it, of course. And it just shows you like you cannot have these referees making these decisions, ruining the game. If anything, we could have been 1-0, and we would have advanced. Like I
Yeah,
just think it's
I don't
ridiculous.
know. I think, and then I guess go like Liam also said, the red cards are used for malicious tackles, goal scoring opportunities lost, and now it's physical contact in the middle of the park. And Liam, I don't know if you watched the replay. Zlatan actually didn't touch his ankle. He didn't touch it. Even if he did clip his ankle, it's not a second yellow. That's just, I don't know. I've seen it so many times. Where's the accountability? And then the ref goes off hurt, which is hilarious. But and Arnold said this point is Zlatan, but it's not bad that we lost. Yeah, sure, that's a good point too. We talked about that. And Benacer is coming back for Bologna on the weekend, or not. Liam said here too that Inter won through a penalty and a free kick and through 10 men. Like, and Conte, and they're like celebrating. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. They were like celebrating and stuff like that, like in our face at the end. Like, man, like you guys won against a 10-man team with a penalty and a free kick on a foul that wasn't a foul. So I can't be mad at Milan. Like there shouldn't be any Milanisti who are mad at the squad today, in my opinion. I hope you guys agree with that. Like, I mean, we played well. We were playing well until all the crap started to happen. And even Liam said, "Okay, it was fixed." Like it, and then I have friends messaging me who are like Premier League fans saying that was a terrible match. It looks bad for Calcio. This match sets Calcio back because it doesn't happen in England. It doesn't. That doesn't happen. Like there's some. It's just so.
I don't know. There's some pretty fishy.
No,
It was just
there
it
are.
was an unlucky game. It was
No,
a
I
very
don't. No,
unlucky.
okay, unlucky is one call, but 4 different calls. Then Milan, every time Milan had contact against them, there was no call. It was play on.
Yeah, what was yeah, I saw what Football XX was saying. Something I noticed our players don't protest against VAR, and as well Miko 35 like RT'd it. Like that's one of the first things that I learned growing up playing soccer and hockey. Like if you think something is a call, you protest. Like if you think in hockey, for example, if you think you scored a goal, you're right at the net, you make sure you celebrate, you put your hands up, you make sure you change the ref's decision. Like that's why Conte is such a good coach, man, because all the players buy into his philosophy. Like Pioli,
Being a
I
clown?
can't being a clown, but not even that, man. Conte has won trophies everywhere he's gone. Hopefully he doesn't win one with Inter. But the guy has a reputation, and he has that sort of that persuasion per se that everyone's just going to listen to him because of his status. And I think that's what Milan players need to do more. They just gotta, excuse my language, but they gotta just like biatch and complain. Like they just gotta go on the ground. That's what soccer is
That's
now.
not us, though. That's not our DNA to do that. That's not.
Hey, that's soccer now. That's football now, guys.
I know, but I don't know. And then I see like football. Let's just talk about the penalty. Barella was falling before that penalty. Actually, if you look at the slow motion, it looks like wow, that's a clear penalty. Leao didn't actually make contact with his foot. I don't know if you guys watched it again. You wonder. We see these things. We see the same when they go to VAR. The fans and TV see the exact same picture the referee sees. So we see the exact same thing. How can you look at that and not take an extra look, take an extra minute to take a look and make sure you're getting the right call because it's the Coppa Italia, it's a tournament. And like Liam put here another comment, this is a major tournament. Like imagine you paid, sit in the crowd, and the referee takes the game upon himself and destroys the match. If Inter came back and beat us 2-1, I'd be angry, obviously. Milan lost. But it's okay. We lost to the better team. On Saturday, we lost to the better team. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't like to blame the referees for losing. I hate it because it's a hard job. But you have the VAR, you have the technology that if you make a mistake, you can fix it. That's why they have the technology there. And a match like today felt like Milan-Juve of the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Honestly. And like I don't know, you guys remember that match Milan-Juve 1-1, De Sciglio handball, 96th minute? Remember that?
Yeah, was that the same? Yeah.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't Valeri. I don't think. It wasn't. I don't think
it might.
was Valeri.
No, it might have been.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll look it up right now.
That's when Sandro made the exact same thing.
No,
Was that the next game?
No, Sandro was like 2 years ago. De Sciglio was like 4 years ago. Let me see. Hold on. I'm
Usually,
gonna
I
look
think
it
it
up.
was 2017.
I'm gonna
It
look
could
it
be.
up right now.
Guys, as we're speaking right now, I have other friends messaging me, Juventini, Napoli fans, and they're messaging me how like corrupt that game was.
It was a
Because
terrible match.
It
they
was.
said a good point my friend made. They said that red card for Ibra was made out of pure emotion from the referee. The referee
Exactly.
was waiting for that incident to happen. Any slight thing that Ibra did, like the slightest, even though, okay, if he did clip him, that's not a second yellow. He was waiting for that opportunity out of pure emotion because he was waiting for Ibra just to give him a red. And to me, that is ridiculous. That is awful on his part. You know, it could have been an amazing game if Ibra stayed in.
Truly.
2-2, 3-3, who knows? But like doing that is just an awful thing to do. And the referee, and that's the thing, you cannot ref a game out of pure emotion.
No,
And
you
that's what I
can't.
think
You
the
can't.
referee did a lot. That's what
See,
the referee did.
see, and that's why, we're North American, so I'm going to talk about North American comparisons. But you just like obviously you see teams get screwed by calls in every single sport. But there's a thing. There's two different things. There's one side of it where you get screwed by a call in calcio, football, hockey, basketball, getting screwed by a call. That's one thing. But for everything to go against you, and for the referee, for me, I like when a referee, any sport, is consistent. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna call, for example, like when Teo was in the air with Barella, and Teo wins the header, but he bodies him a bit. If you're gonna let that go, let it go all game. If you're going to call it a foul, then call it a foul all game. Just for example, consistency is big, and the fact that Milan got one foul call in 45 minutes, that's like Liam, I'm totally agreeing with you. Like when you get beat by better teams, a learning process, but to get the game stolen from you is outrageous. That's a beautiful sentence, beautifully written. And Serie A officials, and guys, we're not the only fan base here talking about Serie A officials. Oh my God. I think officials in Italy, and you guys can agree with this, the officials are talked about more than the match a lot.
Yeah.
And you again, I don't want to say we lost a game because of the referee. But today, when Inter can't score a goal from open play, we did. We lost the match because of the referee today. And I hate to say it, but you know what? In the end, maybe we'll get some better luck in the derby in Serie A in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But
Yeah.
but
Hopefully.
honestly though, I don't know if you saw at the end of the match there, guys, but Kessie like body checked Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
Great hit, by the way. Great hit.
Yeah. What you do.
If he was playing hockey, shoulder to shoulder, great hit.
Get in their heads for the next time they play.
Actually, did you see the hit that Rebic put on Barella?
Yeah. Like I was liking it at the end. Like, you know what?
Yeah,
You're
good hit.
down.
Who cares?
All this bullshit that's occurred, you
Who
you
cares?
agree with it, you disagree with it.
Exactly.
Who cares? I think I was just reading a tweet like 10 minutes ago. Like a very popular guy in the Milan Twitter community, Samo, he was saying that the winner of the Coppa Italia gets less than 2 million euros. So in the end, that's an extra 3 games, potential chance of injury. You don't really, okay, it's nice. Like I said earlier, you get a trophy, but in the end, Milan right now needs money. Like you don't really need like a trophy that can be thrown away. If you can risk not winning a trophy and getting $2 million, but because there's a chance of you winning Europa League, gaining a place in the sea.
You glitched out a bit there. Hello?
Yo, you hear me?
Okay, yeah. You're good now.
Yeah.
You glitched out on the last part there.
Oh, maybe even a dream come true. They win the league. Knock on wood that I didn't jinx it.
Hopefully.
But hey, you know what? I guess this is just a learning experience for all the players. Like, you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins.
You're right. But today, what do you say as a coach? What do you say as a coach? What do you say?
As a coach, you just go into the change room, you look at your guys, and you say, look, in Italian, you say, questa è una merda. Like, this is terrible. This is utter crap.
But
I think the players know deep down that it wasn't a properly officiated game.
Well, the reason why I talked about that Kessie hit at the end, I don't know if you saw it, but at the end of the match, you can go rewatch it if you want.
Yeah, that was like at the 99th and with 40 seconds left. Yeah.
Kessie hit Sanchez, and then right when the ref blew the whistle in the match, Kessie looked back at him, gave him like a dirtiest look ever, and just walked off.
Yeah.
They just walked off. And listen, Pioli's a man of class. We know that, right?
Yes.
He's a classy man. He
Padre.
will never come out and say the referee was god awful.
No, never.
However, you don't think him and Maldini are talking right now, and Gazidis are talking about how disgusting that match was? Of course they are, because Milan, Ibra had a beautiful goal in the first half. We played it was a back and forth, good football. It was good.
It was good calcio the first 35 minutes, and then those two donkeys started
Honestly,
going at each other.
I'm not even sure Inter fans can disagree with how the match went. Like, I feel like they would probably say the same thing, is that they didn't want the match to be like that. They wanted a fair match with no red cards that weren't deserved. And you just got to think about it. Lukaku, I even said about the halftime, I tweeted on the Milan guys, Lukaku should have been sent off. You can't, and I actually tweeted, Balotelli, Higuain are two guys I remember. One, Balotelli was yelling at the referee against Napoli like 6 years ago, got a 3-match ban. Okay. Number two, Higuain, I remember against Juve, he went crazy and got a 3-match ban and a red card. So Lukaku, who gets shoulder-to-shoulder contact with Romagnoli, just an average challenge, nothing crazy, gets up, tries to fight him, and then Ibra says what? He chirps him? Wow, who cares? And then he goes to fight everybody else, slapping everybody's arm around him, and his teammates to hold him back, the Inter staff to hold him back, the Milan players were holding him back. That's not worth that. You don't get sent off for that, but you get sent off for a clip in the heels, which you didn't even do in the middle of the field. How? Tell me where's just.
That's the thing. The referee just gave Ibra the red out of pure emotion. I honestly think the referee had something against Ibra. You have to have something against Ibra to give him a red card there.
And okay, guys, it was Orsato versus Juve a couple years ago.
Orsato,
but he's part of the Juve team too. So
yeah, Orsato isn't Orsato the number 6 on that XI of Juve referees?
Yeah.
That's where Valetti's like the number 10.
Regista is Orsato, Rizzoli, Valeri.
Yeah, Valeri trequartista.
And then Valeri pulls up with a hamstring injury or a groin injury.
Was hilarious. That was peak. That was peak comedy at that point.
That was peak calcio. But like, you know what?
With 10 minutes, yeah.
Look at what Liam said here. If Nesta was playing today, he'd be sent over.
Yeah. Nesta would have gone.
You don't have to defend anymore. You can't touch anybody anymore. There's no even shoulder-to-shoulder contact gets called. Yeah. If you win the ball in the final third on the opponent's end, it's mostly a foul if you don't touch him. It's the game, and I tweeted on the Milan guy. I said this game is dead if that's the second yellow card on Ibra, because so you get a yellow card, okay, you have a caution, but if you have one little like foul in the middle of the field, that's something that can like a red card in calcio, in soccer, football changes the whole match. Obviously, a red card is more detrimental. It's more detrimental and more than
it's a mental thing.
Yeah, but more than any other sport, because penalty call in an American football game, in a hockey game, I could change a match, but there's also a chance where it can't change anything. You know what I mean? Like, you just move on from it. Like, for example, you're glitching out. We're Canadians, so I'll say hockey. When a bad penalty is called, you can kill off the power play and the game's back 5-on-5, right? So it could change the game, but you can build off of it. In calcio, you can't build off of 10 men. You have to. Then you're playing with a man down. You have tired midfielders. You got Kessie, who plays every game 90 minutes, and he was a beast today, still in my opinion. But it's brutal. And Liam, Football XX, and Liam, it's bad. And all this crap, we've actually forgotten that we lost Simon Kier to injury in the beginning of the game, and who knows what his condition is? Not sure. Has anybody read anything about it yet?
I'm looking. As of now, I don't see anything, but I think we'll be updated in the next few hours. But as of now, nothing. But I'm seeing Inter fans saying that those calls today were legit, and that's what. How do you say it's legit? Like, that's what's frustrating. And now I'm rewatching. Someone did a frame by frame with the penalty. It is. I will show you guys later on, but it is hilarious how Barella was already going to the ground. It just amazes me. And then you see the ref go to VAR. Doesn't like spend maybe a minute or two. Spends maybe 10 seconds. Boom. He points to the spot. That is where it is wrong completely. Like you got to spend some time at least. Like these guys, and also in the room, they can go frame by frame by frame. So if they can go frame by frame, and we're seeing it right now that he dove on the ground already. What are those guys doing in the box? If like, are they going frame by frame? I just think it's ridiculous. I'm still living. I'm living.
Yeah,
I'm living too. And Jordan, for one, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. A little late. But Tatarashanu, Umbi actually mentioned him. Fantastic match, man of the match for Milan. I think he played a great match, and I think that he kind of ever since that one mistake against Roma, he's actually been pretty good since. So, hopefully he's a good backup option. I mean, wish we'd had Donnarumma, but you can't fault Tatarashanu for not saving a penalty and a beautiful free kick. So
no, exactly. They didn't even come from open play.
Exactly.
Like,
and
come on.
Liam said, "Do you think the absence of fans are freeing these referees making
Yes.
decisions?" Yes, for sure. I think because you know why though? Because if it's a Milan Torino and Milan's at home, if there's a foul, you hear the whistling and stuff like that. The referee might say, "Okay, you know what, foul." But with no fans, you hear and it's funny on TV. You can hear the coach yell, and you hear like some players on the bench yelling sometimes too, and stuff like that. You hear that, but I think fans do make a difference, especially in calcio, especially in Italy. Like I said, the officials are talked about more than the match. So, what would you guys? Let me ask you, and just to get to this, Miko said, I'm watching read from the last foul. The Inter, Miko. On Twitter, we quoted the video. He literally kicked the grass and fell like Mite. He didn't even touch him. And Jordan Mite, to talk about him, was absolutely horrendous today. I didn't like him at all. It sucks that he played a bad match, but again, I didn't really notice him being too bad until it was late. So I don't know. And Barella did go down early. He was actually falling before the challenge came in. Leao's foot actually didn't touch his foot. If you actually look at it closely again, and you have to get those calls right. But okay, so even if you call a penalty, the red card shouldn't have had and Liam put in, you get a first card for a verbal, and then your second for an ankle kick. That's what's a sending off is now these days. Is the sport dead? I don't know. That makes me angry. But let me ask everybody who's listening this and just comment in the chat, and we'll discuss it. Do you think that city officials in Serie A? What's your thoughts on bringing in foreign Serie A officials, not Italian, for bias purposes and stuff like that? Like, what? I'll ask Umbi or Marco, or even say it in the chat too. What do you guys think about that?
Marco, you want to go first?
Sure. I would think that's a great idea. At this point, we've seen it for so many years, how corrupt these referees are. Ridiculous calls that ruin games. And it just shows like the past it could be almost 10 years that Juventus have been winning. That's a sign right there that something is wrong. And we've seen like a couple of years where Juve get these calls and that help them end up winning the league. And like today is another instance. So I think if I can have a French or German referee, I would take them in a heartbeat at this point, because like today, there is favoritism in the league, and there is referees in the league that ref with feelings, with emotions. So you can't have that. As a referee, you got to be very, non-biased. And these referees in Serie A, I think they're the most dramatic people I've ever met in my life. They should be in a drama show or something, because they're in the wrong field of business. Umberto, go ahead, man, because these referees are ridiculous. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly you could see it as something necessary to be done. I really don't think it is. At the end of the day, the refs in a game like this, the refs are to blame. Like they're the reasons Milan lost today, but I don't think it'll make a huge difference really bringing in a French. Look at Platini, the most corrupt person in the world. I think it's just you stick with the Italians. You pray to God that they start becoming smarter. Like we've seen now, Italians this past 10 years have been ridiculously stupid. So hopefully they start getting a little smarter. Maybe they need North American NFL refs over there, some hockey refs to line up everybody.
Yeah, honestly, I would be happy with a North American ref at this point, even though I don't think they're the greatest, but I'll take the North American refs. You at this point, anyone's better. I could ref a City A game, and I'll do a better job.
I'm just looking at Pioli's press conference here. He said like the difference in the match was that we had 10 men. 11-11 was an open match. He said he's positive and he's confident for the future. I mean, he's a classy man. You knew he was going to say something like that, right? But just looking at the comments, Liam says bring in foreign officials, amazing idea. Lieben says
I'm really pissed off. We are too, brother.
He says I'm all for no. There's no downside if they don't understand Italian. A lot of those guys in the field speak English anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, like that's not really a huge reason.
I've forgotten what sport with me, when one of the referee cannot ref a match where they reside or are from.
Referee, World Cup, Champions League, Europa League, all
so
like
what's
the
the
big
difference?
tournaments like that.
So, like, could you say that? Could you like? Obviously, biased.
I'd love to see what professionals think about that idea.
What?
I know. I'd love to hear what what the Serie A board would think about that idea. Like if they'd laugh it off or if they'd actually consider it.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it could.
And when Liam's talking about the bench, that honestly, Liam, though, like it's hard because like a third of our players are hurt.
I was gonna mention that. Like you go look at Inter's bench, and obviously, Milan had a lot of guys injured. We would have had we had 4 starters not playing, potentially even 5 if you want to argue Calabria is a stapled in starter.
He is.
So 5. We're missing 5 starters.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm looking at the bench. Who was available? Tonali was Tonali? No, Tonali wasn't available. He was hurt.
Tonali wasn't available.
And then Mandzukic hurt. We had
Hauga.
We had to put in Tomori. We had to put in Tomori, who just he didn't even train as a start. He didn't warm up as a starter. He didn't even have a warm up because Kia got hurt and he had to go on right away.
He played stupendous though. He saved a few goals.
I think we're gonna redeem him if he starts playing. If he plays like that, there's no.
You think they're gonna redeem Mate or however you pronounce his name?
No, I don't think we should get him. We've seen him with Atalanta, Inter. Listen, as a player, you got to play the big games, and he didn't play well against Atalanta, and he didn't play well against Inter. Honestly, I think I prefer Tonali over Miete.
Obviously.
Yeah, hold on. I'd love to know something here. Hold on. How did Lukaku get man of the match? What did he do? What did he do?
If I was
what did he do?
Dude, it's like hockey. He energized everyone up after that little skirmish.
He wanted to fight 6 players.
No, you have to give it either. If you wanted to say an Inter player got man of the match, you got to give it to Barella or Vidal. Lukaku,
Lukaku didn't do anything.
Yeah, Lukaku bricked so many chances.
Another topic now, and we don't know really what went on. There's rumors, and we heard a little bit, but what exactly was said between Ibra and Lukaku?
Because I'm actually reading it right now. I think the Gazzetta dello Sport just posted it. I'm going to read it to you guys.
Okay.
So Ibrahimovic said, "Go and do your crap rights elsewhere," and he called him a donkey. But I don't know. I don't know what crap rights means. I don't know if that's I think that's a bad translation. Maybe I have no idea what that means. But so he basically said you're a donkey. Just stupid chirps. And then Lukaku said, "Come on, we'll meet in the locker room." And then and Zlatan said, "Go call your mother and go do your crap voodoo." So I guess is that something that Lukaku does? Is he a voodoo guy? I have no idea. And then I'm not going to swear, but Lukaku said that he would be sexual with him and his wife. I think something like that. And then he said, "Are we talking about your mother? She's a B word." And then he was yelling. That was what Gazzetta dello Sport picked up during the altercation. But I just don't see how Lukaku can stay on the field after that. I was actually saying at halftime, maybe Conte should take him off because he might go out and hurt someone. But he misses the next match against Juve anyway, Lukaku. But it's just I look at the match.
Hakimi, bro. They're gonna get swept. Yeah.
Yeah, and Juve are playing Spal, the mighty Spal in Serie B in the quarterfinals. So
Yeah. When does Coppa Italia take place? What, February
I don't know.
13th and 20th?
Is Juve tomorrow? When's it? Oh, you got Napoli Spezia on Thursday, and next week the other matches. But I don't know. I just think that I'm just trying to read some Twitter comments here and just see what everybody's saying. I mean, everybody kind of in agreement that Tomori was very impressive, so that's always nice. But and then it's like, and then Daniele Longo is saying that he's tweeting in Italian that without Çalhanoğlu, Milan are a different squad. And it's very true. And me and Umbi were actually talking about it a couple days ago that without Çalhanoğlu, you can tell there's a difference. Like I'm not bashing Brahim, I like him a lot, but Çalhanoğlu is a player that's extremely important to this Milan starting lineup. And
yeah, exactly.
And I think that, you know, hopefully he's been out for what, almost 2 weeks with COVID. So hopefully he tests negative this week and we can have him for Bologna, because you know what? Push this Coppa Italia match aside. Who cares what you know what? Me and TMG Mike and Marco were talking about this a couple days ago. If we used to care about the Coppa Italia more because we were in 7th place in Serie A, so we'd care about the Coppa Italia more. But we're in a Champions League fight. I don't care as much about the Coppa Italia. For those who are watching, comment on here if you agree or disagree. Like what, for me, like obviously it's Inter. I wanted to win this match, but if you lose, you know what? You take the positives and keep going, because we're in a fight now. But when we were in 6th or 7th place, I wanted the Coppa Italia because if you win it, you get to go to Europa League just in case you don't make it in the league. So what are your thoughts on that? I'll go to TMG Marco. What are your thoughts on that?
On the just Coppa Italia? Listen, you know, I would love to win Coppa Italia just to get silverware, but at this point, we need to make Champions League, and that's the focus. And I'm disappointed that we're out already, but you know what? I would love to win Europa. I would rather win Europa over Coppa Italia. And Serie A is the most important. So top 4, I just think in today's perspective, you got to win. And listen, I can't be too disappointed, but you know, at least we have 2 other trophies we could still win. So I'm just going to stick with that because, you know, Coppa Italia, like you just said, once we're in 7th, 8th place, that's the trophy you got to win. But in our situation, we got Europa still, and we're in 1st place in Serie A. So that's the focus.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly like Marco said. Obviously, it was a big priority for us when Milan was crap, when they didn't even think that they could get a Europa League spot, like up until like 2-3 years ago. But hey, man, like I said earlier, there are bigger and better things ahead. If Milan can sacrifice potentially winning this, if they can sacrifice this Coppa for a Europa League trophy, for a Scudetto, I'm all for it. In which I think, like I said, potentially, yeah, it saves a lot of minutes on their players' legs. You know, some more time to rest.
Mm-hmm. I think, I see Jordan's kind of saying that, like, you know, you can't, you got to move on from this, and you can't let, you know what? But Jordan, honestly, we didn't.
He makes sense.
But to that red card, we didn't play bad. We played a good match. We actually responded well from that Atalanta defeat on Saturday. Top 4 is a must. Obviously, the Scudetto, like, guys, if we're being honest with ourselves, right? In August, if I would have said, okay, guys, halfway through the season, we're going to be 2 points up in Serie A, would you take that? Yes, right. You would say you would say I was crazy, right? You wouldn't. We had expectations this year, but you didn't have expectations of battling for the Scudetto. We had top 4 aspirations, but we need to make it top 4. We need to keep. We have 3 very winnable matches. We have Bologna away, Crotone at home, Spezia away. And those Bologna and Spezia home matches away are very tricky. They can be very tricky and very difficult. And those are matches that Milan in the past have drew 1-1, drew 0-0, drew freaking 2-2 with the 2 penalties conceded.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? A lot of these matches, we're getting too many red cards. We have to stop. Even with Salamakers and Cagliari, like that game got scary because Salamakers got sent off after 5 minutes of coming on. I can tell you what. It's going to be an interesting alternative commentary video for sure. I think that video is going to be pretty good for these match highlights that just happened today. But again, 3 winnable matches. We have to come out firing. Like, obviously, Ibra, he gets a red card, so what? He's suspended for the next match in Coppa Italia next year, right?
Which who knows?
Yes,
Probably, a Parma
if he
or
comes back next year.
He's going to come back next year, I think. I hope. We need him.
But guys, I think with Leao's performance today and against Atalanta, like, I'm disappointed in him. Even though like he couldn't do too much today, I just feel like he needs to do more though. Like,
sometimes he shows shades of Niang 2.0, and sometimes he looks like Ronaldinho playing for PSG. Like, he just looks amazing with all that potential.
And he's inconsistent. That's the problem. And like, I wish he can perform like how we did last derby in I believe October. He can play like that all the time. But I think for Saturday, I think I'd rather have Rebic starting as a left winger. I think Rebic should be getting the start.
I think Rebic is always first choice.
Definitely.
I think Rebic is always first choice, but I think Rebic, he might have had some COVID symptoms. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players been affected from COVID. If they were sick, they weren't able to work out at all. So maybe he's still kind of recovering in a way to only put in like 30, 40 minutes. But Rebic, our best lineup, guys, it's pretty simple. Our best lineup is Donnarumma with Calabria, Romagnoli, Kier, Teo, Kessie, Benacer, Salamaker, Çalhanoğlu, Rebic, Ibra. That's our best lineup. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The issue is that we haven't had that lineup since what? Beginning of November?
Yeah.
So, and the fact that we're still where we are right now without all those guys, and we're getting Benacer back for the weekend, but hopefully Çalhanoğlu tests negative because we could really use him. And again, not bashing Brahim. I like Brahim a lot. I hope we redeem him, to be honest with you. So it looks like Tomori might have to start with Romagnoli. I don't know. There's nothing about Simon Kier right now. I'm trying to look him up.
I just found out that it was just a thigh problem. So I think they're going to evaluate him tomorrow morning.
Who said Antonio Vitiello?
Yeah, I saw that. Also, you know what's amazing? The hype over Hakimi. Honestly, Theo is just better than him. And Inter fans can disagree, but Theo, we've seen 2 of them match up, and at this point, I still think the first time Theo just outclassed him, and then Hakimi didn't really do much today. I just think the overall best.
And Josh comes in with the fire. Absolute fire. Josh, what are your thoughts on the match today?
I feel you, bro.
I can already imagine what your thoughts are on the match. Why don't you tell us? And we'll bring in you and talk about what you wanted to say. Yeah, Marco, sorry, go ahead.
No, let's hear what Josh has to say. All I have to say is Theo's world class, but I think the Lord had a great game. Defensively, I think we were fine. They just got those 2 set pieces that gave them the win. They didn't score from open play like you guys said earlier. And to show that they struggled against a 10-man team that we're missing Kier, we're missing Ibra, we're missing Benacer, we're missing Hakan, okay? And then we got Mandzukic too. You throw in Mandzukic in there, and then, you know what? They got problems to deal with. So I think the benefit, actually, the bright side is we can focus on Serie A and Europa at this point. And we'll just move on. But Leon needs to realize his potential consistently right now. He is too streaky in form. I completely agree with you, Liam. Leao is very inconsistent. And I think he just needs to have more confidence in his decision-making, because he would stride forward, but then sometimes he wouldn't know what to do. And then his final pass in the final third would kind of just let him up. And I think he needs to just have better decision-making in the final third, especially.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I agree with that. It's
gotta send him to Genoa on loan.
No. Actually, we'll talk about some Mercato news too. We sent Lolo Colombo
to Cremonese,
which is good. I think it's good for him to just a dry loan until June, right?
It's
So
minutes.
get some minutes in him. I think he has potential to be a player in like a squad, rotational center forward. I think he's built, big boy.
Petagna 2.0.
Betania 2.0, but those guys can be useful though, Umbi. So
I know, yeah.
and then
Cremonese are like very close to relegation too.
yeah, and they we also were selling Matteo Musacchio to Lazio for nothing, free. Would have liked if we can recoup a couple million for him, but I guess not.
I guess the most important thing there was saving that Lordi, the 5 million euros total that they pay him.
We pay no,
because Lordi. So basically, he collects. So in Italy, it's weird how they do it. So they announce the salaries after tax cuts.
okay.
So he makes 2.5 after tax cuts.
Yeah. So what about
So it's 5 million total.
US dollars?
No,
No. You telling me
Really?
it cuts off 50%?
in Italy, yeah. In Italy, they cut off 50%.
I knew they cut off a decent chunk.
No, anything over anything over 175,000 euros, I'm 99.8% sure. I'm giving you a Galliani measurement right there. 99.8% sure. You get taxed over 48%.
Yeah, I'm just
It's ridiculous.
Josh says, I think teams like Inter and Juve better thank God we haven't been at full strength.
I love the Raptors jersey on him.
Yeah, good Raptors jersey, man. Let's go. Also, Mite doesn't need to be on the pitch for us again. He's pretty careless. Yeah, like honestly, I don't agree with anything you just said there.
We agree.
I'll pass on to Marco and let him talk to you to what do you think of what Josh is saying?
I listened today, Josh, and you've seen it too. Miete lost the ball so many times. Inter could have scored on the breakaway with the balls that he gave up. And I think his decision-making, his touch is awful. He's a wannabe Kessie at this point. And he's trying to copy Kessie's hair. He's trying to copy, like, honestly, Kessie just destroys him overall. So
he's always had that hair. He has the weekend hair. Let's see the weekend.
Yeah, he's trying to be the weekend and Kessie combined. Listen, he can go perform at the Super Bowl, but get him off Milan at this point because I think we don't need another player. Like Kessie is the overall tank. We need another Benacer on the bench. I think that's another midfielder that we need, like another type of Benacer.
Lucas Torreira.
Yeah, listen, Torreira
would have been nice.
I think that would be
Hey,
nice.
but hey.
I don't know. I just think that our squad is as strong as it's been for the past let's say 6-7 years. And it's nice. But like De Vrij just said, we believed it and we deserved it. Like what? Enough of this now. Like don't say, take your win, but don't say like you didn't deserve it. You couldn't score an open play against 10 men. An open play goal against 10 men. What do you mean you deserved it? Like, come on, don't be like that.
I got a question for you. Do you think if I'm just reading off Josh's last comment right there, you think at the end with 10 men, if we would have made somewhat of a difference?
Your microphone glitched out there. What was the middle part you said? Like what was the main part of your question? Didn't hear it.
Mandzukic instead of Rebic at the end. Do you think that would have made
a difference? If he was healthy?
Yeah.
No, because I can see why you put Rebic on. It was. I think that game. Obviously, I think Valeri had a wager on it. And Jordan, no problem.
Great chat,
man.
Jordan. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, Jordan. Thanks for listening. Listen,
thank you, Jordan.
We'll be having another podcast a couple weeks at least, so just stay tuned. Thanks, Jordan. I think you put on Rebic because when you're playing with 10 men, you're forced to just play on the counter. So that means that with Mandzukic, you can't really play on the counter with someone like Mario Mandzukic, right? So you play like Rebic, you just kind of like the one. I think it was it Krunic or Mite? We got the ball and Rebic started he booked it. And he didn't turn around and get the ball because I think his Pulit's instructions were, when we get the ball, run the straight line. We're going to put it over the top. Maybe he can get to you because Rebic is faster than all those guys back there, right? So
he is, he's a speed demon in FIFA.
I think in that situation, I like Rebic. But Mandzukic in a physical derby would have been beautiful for today in general. If we didn't go down 10-man, I would have loved to seen like a cameo from Mandzukic in 25 minutes. And
Hopefully.
here's my other question too. I wanted to ask you guys and the listeners, and please, guys, comment in the chat. Let's have a chat. Are you guys kind of happy that Inter ended it without us having this play 30 minutes of extra time with 10 men?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I would have rather Milan lost in 90 minutes than in 120 or in a penalty shootout.
Like, do you think? Yeah, but the problem is, if we would play for penalties, it's 50-50. It doesn't matter about 10 men.
Yeah, but
our guys would have been tired out though. Like, think about it. Like, if you sit on the attack the whole time, it doesn't really tire you out as much. And when you're just sitting and defending for 35 minutes, 40 minutes, it tires you out like hell.
Yeah, it's hell. So, but here's the thing. I think, listen, you no matter what the performance is, you go to penalties, anyone can win in penalties. And at that point with Tata, how he was performing all game, we had a good chance of winning in penalties. I'm not gonna lie.
We did, man. The guy could save everything.
And Andrew Galvina says, yes, I said to my boy, I'm happy they scored in extra time. One less competition to worry about. You know what, Andrew? Honestly, I kind of agree because, a lot of people forget about Europa League, right? When they have that 2.5 month break. We're gonna start to be playing Sunday, Thursday. You know what I mean? Like, or Friday, Thursday, Saturday, Like, you know what I mean?
Could be playing 3 games in literally 1 week from Sunday to Saturday, which would have been terrible.
Well, it's going to be 3 games a week. It's going to be Sunday, then Thursday, then probably the next Sunday. So a lot of travel, and that's why, like, guys like Frankesi, man, like, that guy's a beast, right? He plays what? He plays the most minutes in Europe every year for sure.
Yeah, it's either him or Romagnoli, really.
Yeah, him and Romagnoli play a lot of minutes, and Kessie, like, just what a warrior, what a player. If we can thank Mira Badley and Fasone for anything, it's going to be him, right? Him and Çalhanoğlu. But yeah, Andrew, I agree. Liam says that 30 minutes would have been futile and training legs, energy levels. You're right. And then Josh says, I never want to lose, especially to Inter. Plus, I could use more Milan matches a week to watch. It's true. You're right. I agree. It's nice. Honestly, it's nice with these packed schedules. The games are feels like every 4 days, every 3-4 days, we watch Milan. Especially this year, we've had a lot of success so far. We just got to just go out there on are we on Saturday 9 a.m. in Eastern time. We got to go out there against Bologna, and we got to be cutthroat. We got to go out there. We got to score early and score often. Don't let Bologna in the game at all. Go out there, get 3 points. Inter gets 3 points too, maybe. I think they're against who they got? Benevento. Maybe Inzaghi can do us a favor.
Ooh, listen, that would be great. Inzaghi, come on.
Hey man, we argued all these years which games make the most difference. This is gonna prove Bologna. If Milan can get 9 points out of 9 in these next 3 Serie A matches of theirs,
I think
magical.
I would go as far as saying if we can get 9 and 9 in the next 3 matches, a top 4 spot is very, very likely.
Well, I don't know if you've seen that report, but who's that Italian commentator that says he looks like Andrew Levine? What's his name?
Oh my God!
You know who I'm talking about, right?
It's is it Tancredi Palmieri?
Yes, Tancredi. Yes. So I remember seeing a stat he put on. Like, this was back in I think it could have been like the first few days of January, and it was like the headline was clamoroso, like shockingly, if Milan win this game, they'll qualify for the Champions League. So basically, anyone who's finished the halfway point at the top of the league in Italy has only once since like 1950 or 1960, only once has not made the Champions League.
Yeah, but it's so much more tight this year.
It is, and hopefully, like, I've been saying a lot of stuff right now. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing it. But hey, man, like, I'm confident that this Milan team can do it. Maybe Maldini just brings in another couple emergency loans, to just give Pioli more options.
According to Italian Football TV, they just tweeted that. They tweeted the whole fight with Ibra and Lukaku, and they said, like, the same thing we said, Gazzetta said. But then they said, Lukaku, when he walked in the tunnel, added, "You want to speak with my mother, you SOB? I'll shoot you in your head."
Oh, man.
He said. And that if that's not, how do you not get sent off for that? That's a threat.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
Exactly like you said. And VAR, listen. If we could hear everything they said, the refs over there heard everything. So that's what's amazing. That all right, if you want to give them a red, give Ibra and Lukaku a red, make it a 10v10, and call it a day. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then, that's what like if you're gonna do something right, then give Ibra a red and give Lukaku a red. That's the right thing to do then, because both of them said shit that they shouldn't have said, and that's what should have been done. And that's what's disgusting, because I think if you do say that stuff in the English Premier League and they hear all that, like I'm sure you would have like 4-game match ban or something like that. But then, the referee just gives him a yellow card after saying that. Listen, at that point, I would be fine with 10v10. I would be fine with that. It's an even match. Take 2 of the best players out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't want anyone to I don't want to see anybody sent off unless it's like I think Liam noted earlier, like unless it's like a pure goal scoring opportunity, a malicious challenge, or like something incredibly stupid, like going up and like everyone Maxis like try to like slice the guy's neck off, like against Lazio. Unless it's that, a red card shouldn't be, or unless you're on a yellow and you literally pull a guy back, like a tactical foul when he's on like a 3-on-2 or something like that. Those are the only way you should be able to get sent off, especially in a big match like this, a derby. Like, you don't think referees, like, they dream of ref in a derby, no? Like, you don't think they should say to themselves, okay, I don't want to make this match about me. And that's why it's like, are these refs that bad, or is someone on Bet365? Is someone on Bet365 and told them, hey, I picked Inter for money line. I hammered Inter money line.
Bro, Calciopoli at its finest, baby.
Umbi likes that.
Calciopoli at its finest.
Hammer the money line. Yeah, Josh, you're right. With Conte, he does intimidate the ref and he bullies them. And Conte actually got sent off on the weekend against Udinese. He went off against what ref was it? Was it Mazzara? Oh, I don't know. What referee was it? I can look right now before we're gonna end it off in a couple minutes here. I just wanted to see. I'm curious now. The official was Fabio Maresca. You guys know Maresca? Yeah. So, and Conte said, it's always you, Maresca. It's always you. I always have an issue with you. And there was a huge fight there. And I don't know. I just think that today we have to push aside. As a fan, I'm pretty angry, but not just because we lost because of the, like Andrew just said, one-side refereeing. And like, I don't know.
But that wasn't, like, I hate to admit it, that was not the only reason we lost. Milan.
But what do you mean? Why though?
If you just go look at the stats.
You can't look at the stats. You can't look at the stats.
The referees are not the only reason we lost today. Like,
no,
Milan,
I don't know if I agree. Yeah, but Umbi, Zlatan got sent off in the 58th minute.
Yeah, it looks like they gave up Milan after that point. You
can't win a match with 10 men.
Yes, you can. You can win it with 9.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we didn't concede until they didn't score an open play goal.
I have to agree with Umbi that, all right, we're playing with 10 men, but at the same time,
you might as well just go all out at this point.
Yeah, but
throw on attackers.
But you have the lead. You have the lead too.
But with 10 men, we had nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, at least with 10 men, make an effort to go up, have a shot or something. Like, no one did anything, and we were just defending at that point. So
yeah, but you're right. But that's what happens when there's 30 minutes left and you're down and you're up. You have a lead and you're playing against a strong team. That I wasn't surprised about that. And Andrew said we were good defensively, guys. We were good defensively.
We were, and then those few mistakes.
But it's a penalty. But it wasn't even. But guys, the penalty and the foul was a referee making the game about himself. I don't know. I just think maybe it's better for our mental health if we just stop talking about it. And even Liam just said you can win.
Liam's disagreeing with everything I'm saying today. I love it.
But he said if you were not penalized for every single physical tackle, which we were, every single contact for Inter was a foul. For us, it wasn't. We do need more discipline because we do have 50 yellow cards in 19 games. But guys, we're gonna end it off here. To everybody who talked in the chat, that was amazing. Had a lot of fun. Really fun. Yeah. Follow us. We're gonna have an alternative commentary video coming out maybe tomorrow or the next day. It's been getting a really good response and everybody's liking it. So hopefully you guys do too. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, YouTube. That's where this podcast will be. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Milan Bologna on Saturday. Umbi Marco, thanks for coming out again. And again, everybody in the chat, really good discussion. If you ever guys want to talk, send us a DM on Twitter. We'll always respond. So yeah, we'll end it off, guys. I'll
Ciao,
say
ragazzi.
ciao for myself.
Again, great talking.
Okay,
Forza
ciao, guys.
Milan.
Forza Milan. Ciao.
Forza Milan.
Ciao.